When in a cricket match, if a batsman plays good shots, his confidence will definitely boost up. Likewise, a very good bowler, will gain his confidence with unexpectedly good performance. Additionally, their energy to work more enthusiastically for better performance increases. Comparable is the situation for both students as well as faculty. Once a student was able to solve very difficult question, his belief in himself and inclination towards better result will definitely rise. Likewise, a faculty will feel elated and satisfied when they set a question of very good standard, which will eventually help the student to catch hold on their subject and concepts so that they can crack very tough exams with utmost ease. Today, I am going to discuss one such question with you. Yes. This is a question in GATE 2022 OHM online test series, which is a combination of both DC machine and synchronous machine. Solving such kind of questions will definitely separate men from boys and women from girls in their preparation. So, without any fuss, let's check it out. Greetings for the day. I am Surendra Reddy, the Faculty for Electrical Machines at OHM Institute, Hyderabad. It is the exclusive institute for electrical and electronics students. Now, look at the question. A lossless, separately excited DC motor driving an alternator mechanically. The alternator is connected to a 50 Hz bus bar using a 3 dark lamp method. When DC motor is supplied from 400 volt, the rate of lamp flickering is 120 per minute. When motor voltage is reduced, the rate of lamp flickering is increased. So, the voltage required for the motor to synchronize alternator with bus bar is how much? That is the question. So, it's a combination of DC machine and synchronous machine together. In order to answer such kind of questions, definitely the student should have complete understanding over the basics of both DC machine as well as synchronous machine. So let's try to read the problem again and understand what is the data given and what we need to identify. So it was clearly mentioned, yes, a lossless separately excited DC motor which is driving an alternator mechanically. Okay, that means the DC motor is acting like prime mover. Now the alternator is connected to a 50 Hz bus bar using a 3 dark lamp method. This is important. Okay, 3 dark lamp method is one of the synchronization technique. Now, initially when the DC motor is supplied from 400 volt, the rate of lamp flickering is 120 per minute. We know that in 3 dark lamp method, if the frequency of alternator voltage and bus bar voltage are not equal, definitely the lamps will show some flickering. And it was clearly mentioned the lamp flickering is 120 per minute. Now what happens next? When the motor voltage is reduced, the lamp flickering rate is increased. So initially lamp flickering rate is 120 per minute. Now later DC motor voltage is reduced and lamp flickering rate is increased. So what is the voltage that is required for the DC motor in order to synchronize alternator with bus bar? See, when an alternator can be synchronized with bus bar, only when alternator frequency is equal to bus bar frequency. So let's see how to answer this question. Okay. Now see, let me consider this is a DC motor with me. Okay. And here we have an alternator. And both are mechanically coupled to each other. Okay. Now this DC motor is excited from 400 volt source. Initially the voltage supplied to DC motor is 400 and this motor is rotating, so alternator is also rotating. And then this alternator is connected to an infinite bus bar, not directly with a 3 dark lamp method. Okay, so here infinite bus bar is there. That is the bus bar. And what is the frequency of the bus bar clearly mentioned? The bus bar frequency is equal to 50 Hertz. Okay, and when the voltage supplied to DC motor is 400, these dark lamps are giving 120 flickerings per minute. It was clearly mentioned 120 flickerings per minute. So this flickering rate will definitely represent the difference in frequency between alternator voltage to bus bar voltage. But always we studied that the difference in frequency is representing the flickerings in lamp per second. But in the given data, flickerings per minute were given. So we need to identify what is the flickering rate per second. So 120 flickerings per minute means I can say 2 flickerings per second. Okay, just divided by 60. So this flickering rate per second will represent the difference in frequency between alternator to bus bar. Okay, this is equal to the difference in frequency. Suppose if I am assuming alternator frequency is equal to, let us say, FA, that is alternator frequency. Bus bar frequency is equal to FB. Now the difference between these two will be equal to the flickering rate per second. Already, what is the bus bar frequency given in the data? The bus bar frequency is given as 50. Therefore, if the difference has to be equal to 2, there are two choices. Let me tell you. One is either the alternator frequency is equal to 48 Hz or alternator frequency is equal to 52 Hz. In both cases, the difference between alternator frequency to bus bar frequency is equal to 2 Hz. Remember one thing, the flickering rate will tell you only the magnitude of the frequency difference. It will not tell you whether alternator frequency is less or more. You see, if alternator frequency is 48, bus bar frequency is 50, the difference is equal to 2. If alternator frequency is 52 and bus bar frequency is equal to 50, once again the difference is equal to 2. So we don't know whether alternator frequency is 48 or 52. Without knowing this, you cannot synchronize alternator with bus bar. So our next duty is we have to conclude whether alternator frequency is 48 or 52. For that purpose, additional data is given in the problem. Let's see that. Let me go back to the problem. Yes, you see the additional data that was provided. Yes. Yeah. So you see that from here onwards, when motor voltage is reduced, the rate of lamp flickering is increased. Okay. So initially DC motor is supplied from 400 volts. Now the voltage is reduced. Therefore, the lamp flickering rate is increased. So let's see what happens if DC motor voltage is reduced, and most importantly, it is a lossless separately excited DC motor. Okay. Now, let me go to the next page. So, when I am talking about DC separately excited motor, okay, DC separately excited motor, okay, the speed equation omega is equal, this is a standard speed equation, okay, for a DC motor. Hope you have idea about this. Vt minus IaRa divided by Ka into phi. But in the question, it was clearly mentioned a lossless DC motor. That means I can neglect this IaRa drop. Okay, armature resistance can be neglected since it is a lossless machine. Even if that word is not mentioned, you can neglect IaRa drop because Ra is usually very small. So if that drop is neglected, omega is equal to simply Vt by Ka into phi. But importantly, this flux is a constant value. Why that flux is a constant value? Since the motor is separately excited. When it is separately excited, unless it is given in the problem, you have to treat flux as a constant value. If flux is a constant value, the motor speed is directly proportional to the supply voltage. Now, what is given in the problem? Yes, when motor voltage is reduced, okay, it was clearly mentioned. So, according to this formula, if motor voltage is reduced, the motor speed will also reduce. Motor speed reduces means indirectly can I say alternator speed also reduces. Alternator speed also reduces. Why? Because alternator is mechanically coupled to DC motor. If alternator speed reduces, what happens to alternator frequency? Because the formula for frequency in an alternator is equal to P into N by 120 Hz. So, whenever the alternator speed N reduces, definitely alternator frequency will also reduce. So, ultimately the understanding is whenever DC motor voltage is reduced, alternator frequency is also reduced. Now, let's go back. Tell me, if alternator frequency reduces, but bus bar frequency won't change, okay? Bus bar frequency won't change, only alternator frequency reduces. Then what is given in the problem? You see this. When motor voltage is reduced, the rate of lamp flickering is increased. This is important. When motor voltage is reduced, the rate of lamp flickering is increased. Can you tell me one thing? Lamp flickering means the difference in frequency. Alternator frequency is already reduced, but this difference is increased. What is the meaning of it? Let us take both cases. Suppose alternator frequency 48, bus bar frequency 50. If alternator frequency reduces, 48 will become 47. Then what happens to difference? 3. 47 becomes 46, the difference becomes 4. That means indirectly can I say the difference in frequency increases, which indicates the flickering is also increasing. Suppose if you assume alternator frequency is 52, if 52 is reduced to 51, what happens to the difference? 1 Hz. If 51 is reduced to 50, the difference will become 0. That means indirectly, if you assume alternator frequency is 52, if alternator frequency reduces, the difference in frequency is also reduces. But according to the question, the flickering rate is increased. That is possible only if alternator frequency is 48 in the first case. Okay. So that means indirectly, when DC motor is supplied from 400 volt, alternator frequency is 48 but not 52. How did we conclude it? Yes, very simple. I reduced this 400 volt, motor speed is reduced, alternator speed is reduced, alternator frequency reduces, but flickering rate is increased. Alternator frequency reduces, flickering rate increases means that is possible only if alternator frequency is 48 but not 52. So, in the first case, alternator frequency is 48 when the motor voltage is 400. Now, let's try to synchronize this alternator with bus bar. If you wanted to synchronize, you have to increase this 48 Hz to 50 so that alternator frequency is equal to bus bar frequency and then synchronization is possible. So, our aim is let's make this 48 Hz to 50. Let's see how to do that. Yes, very simple. Alternator frequency is equal to P into N by 120 Hz. From this, frequency is directly proportional to speed. So, F1 by F2 is equal to N1 by N2. Here, 1 means the first case where motor is supplied from 400 volt. 2 means the second case where alternator synchronized with bus bar. Yes, in the first case, what is alternator frequency? 48. In the second case, what is the alternator frequency required to synchronize with bus bar? 50. This is equal to N1 by N2. From this, the new speed required is equal to 50 by 48 times of N1, and this will be equal to 1.0416 times of N1. So, the new speed of alternator should be equal to 1.0416 times of the previous speed of alternator. Can I say alternator speed is nothing but DC motor speed only? Yes. What is the DC motor speed equation we just studied? as it is a lossless DC motor, that too separately excited DC motor, speed is proportional to voltage. Therefore, I can write N1 by N2 is equal to simply V1 by V2. Therefore, the new voltage required V2 is equal to N2 by N1 times of V1. Here N2 is 1.0416. So 1.0416 times of what is the previous voltage supplied to DC motor? 400 volt. Therefore, the new voltage required is equal to 416.6 volt. That means you have to increase the DC motor voltage to 416.6 volt so that DC motor speed will increase, alternator speed will increase, and 48 Hz will reach to 50 Hz. That means alternator will be synchronized with bus bar. Okay, so that's what. So let me summarize the question here. See, what is the data given? A DC motor connected to synchronous generator mechanically, and that alternator is connected to infinite bus bar using 3 dark lamp method. Initially, when DC motor voltage is 400, lamp flickering rate is 2 flickerings per second. That means the difference in frequency is 2. When I said the difference is 2, there are two choices. One is alternator frequency 48, bus bar frequency 50, the difference is 2. Second one is alternator frequency 52, bus bar frequency 50, again the difference is equal to 2. So we don't know whether 48 is correct or 52 is correct. For that purpose, what we did in the question, when DC motor voltage is reduced, if DC motor voltage is reduced, DC motor speed will reduce, alternator speed will reduce, alternator frequency will reduce. But what happens to lamp flickering rate? Yes, the lamp flickering rate is increased. So alternator frequency reduces, but flickering rate is increased. That is possible only with 48 Hz alternator frequency. If 48 is reduced, then only the difference will increase and the lamp flickering rate will increase. So we concluded that 48 Hz in the first case is the correct one. Now, if you wanted to synchronize this alternator with bus bar, you have to increase that 48 Hz to 50 Hz. To increase 48 Hz to 50 Hz, we have to increase the speed of the alternator. For that purpose, we have to increase the voltage from 400 to 416.6 volt. So that's all. Okay. So very important question. It's a 2 marks question in GATE 2022 Ohm online test series. Okay. If you wanted to solve more such questions, please subscribe to Ohm GATE 2022 online test series. Please log on to www.ohminstitute.com or download Ohm Online Plus app from Android Play Store. Let me tell you what GATE 2022 online test series, Ohm online test series consists of. Okay, so first let me tell you what are the highlights of this Ohm online test series. The first one is every question in our test series is well curated and prepared by the faculty of Ohm Institute. Okay, and one such example question I solved here, and there are many questions like that. When you solve such standard questions, definitely your preparation is going to be fruitful and you will definitely gain confidence to crack any level of question paper. Okay. And the second thing is every test can be attempted for 5 times. It's not 1 or 2 times. You can attempt each test for 5 times. Sir, why those many attempts are required in online test series? Okay. See, normally what happens, suppose if you are attempting, suppose let us say you completed electrical machine subject. As I am a faculty of electrical machines, let us explain that. Electrical machines subject will have 4 tests overall. One is on transformer, DC machine, induction machine and synchronous machine. Every test consists of 20 questions. Let us say you completed preparation about, let us say induction machines. Okay, your preparation is completed. So you wanted to attempt a test on that particular subject. Now you just, logged in and you are attempting the test, 20 questions. After completing the test, you found that in your 20 questions, 12 questions were correct and you made mistakes in 8 questions and 8 questions were wrong. Now, after submitting your result, don't go through explanation of that question straight away. Okay, we will give you explanation for each and every question, detailed explanation, but don't go through explanation straight away in your first attempt. First understand what are the mistakes you have done. You did mistakes in 8 questions, that's why you got wrong answers, right? So immediately what you need to do is that open your class notes or open your material what you have prepared or open your textbook from where you prepared that particular subject and look at the concepts in these. Let us say these 8 questions, one question is based on speed control, one question is based on starting, or one question is based on torque equations. Okay, go back to their concepts, just understand from which topics you did mistakes, open your material book or open your class notes or open the textbook, go back to these topics once again, revise them. Okay, revise them once again and come back, give the second attempt so that you can correct these 8 mistakes. Okay, you have revised, therefore next time when you are attempting for the second time, hopefully most of the mistakes can be overcome and you can score good marks. If not, go for the third attempt. Only after third attempt go through the solutions. Okay, detailed solutions. This is how to improve problem solving skills when you are attempting any test series. Okay, so if you're really serious about a test series, you just do these things. First attempt, whatever the mistakes you have done, don't go through the solutions straight away. Go back to the material or notes or lectures or whatever you have and just revise those concepts again and come back, give the second attempt, make sure that you will overcome those mistakes and you will get good marks. Okay, and after 2-3 attempts only, go through the complete detailed solutions of the test so that you can cover if there are any more mistakes available. Okay, this is the first thing. And now let me tell you, every test will have 5 attempts. Now the third thing is that you can attempt this test either in mobile app or in your personal computer, PC or laptop. Okay, both facilities are available. You can attempt the test either in mobile app or in computer or PC. Okay, so that facility is there. And the fourth important highlight is best in class analytics. Okay, the analytics are going to be really wonderful. Okay, you can get analytics, how many questions you have attempted, what is the time taken for each question, so that you can assess the time management skills. Okay, we will give you what is the time taken for each and every question, what is the time taken by topper of the exam and what is the time taken by you. Both will be compared. Suppose for first question, topper took 45 seconds, you took only 30 seconds. That means you are doing well. For the second question, topper took 1.5 minutes, you took 2 minutes. That means you have to attempt more tests in order to increase the speed. Okay, so time management is there. Okay, best in class analytics, as I said, percentage of the marks, percentage of the topics you covered. Okay, all analytics required to improve your problem solving skills are available. And the next thing is that all India rank will be displayed. There is an option called leaderboard. On the leaderboard, you can check the top 10 students and also you can check what is the rank you got. Let us say you got 15th rank. The 10 students will be displayed and then your rank will also be displayed. Suppose if you got second rank, you will be in the top 10 list itself. Okay, so these are the various options available in OHM 2022 GATE test series. Okay, now let me tell you the numbers of GATE 22 online test series. The total number of tests in this test series is 60, out of which 48 tests are subject wise. Okay, as I told you, if you consider electrical machines, there are 4 tests in that. Transformer, 1 separate test, induction machine, DC machine, synchronous machine. 48 subject wise tests are available. And each and every subject wise test will have 20 questions. It's not 10 or 15 questions, it's 20 questions. Out of those 20 questions, 10 questions for 1 mark and 10 questions for 2 marks. Okay, so total each subject wise test is for 30 marks. All kinds of questions will be covered. Okay, like multiple choice questions, numerical answer type questions, multiple select questions, covering all the basics, easy level, moderate level and difficult level. Okay, and there are 2 mid mock exams. Now let me tell you what is mean by mid-mock exam. In mid-mock exam, what we will do is that once all the subject-wise tests are completed, we will divide the total GATE syllabus into two parts, okay? And we will conduct two full tests. Half of the syllabus, one full test consisting of 65 questions, just like GATE pattern, and remaining half of the syllabus, another test consisting of 65 questions. Once the two mid-mocks are completed, then there are 10 full mock exams. These are very important, and you need to attempt these full mock exams once your complete preparation is done. Okay, 10 full mock exams, and every mock exam will have 65 questions because it's just like a GATE pattern. Okay, and overall questions, if you see, overall 1740 questions are there. As I told you, these are well curated questions by the faculty of OHM Institute itself. Okay, so subscribe to OHM online test series for better practice and for good result. Okay, thank you so much for listening to me patiently.